Sorry about that. Grand Rising, good day. Welcome everyone to the Peak Wellness Hour, where faith meets wellness and where we believe that whatever our hands find to do, we certainly do it well. I am Angelina, aka Queen G, your holistic lifestyle coach and co-host with CEO and founder of Peak Homecare Associates, Queen Pastor Edith. We're here together every Saturday to take the time to invest in the health of our mind, body, and spirit, even finances, all over wealth. So today we're going to be diving in to rest for the weary, talking about the importance of sleep and restoration. And we cannot wait to share these tools and encouragement with you to help you thrive. So we're excited about taking this journey together towards wellness, wholeness, holistic wellness. So you all grab a pen and paper, and we're going to get started in just a moment. All right, welcome everyone to the virtual building, the virtual experience that we're going to have. Grand Rising to my Queen Mother, aka Rhonda Thomas, in the virtual building. So happy to have you all here, whether you are live or on replay, which is why we want to ask you always to make sure you hit that like button to help us get our message out. Make sure if you're not subscribed, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, you please do so, preferably in both areas. And then share with someone, because we love encouraging, empowering one another. We love being empowered and encouraged. And that's what this is all about with the Peak Wellness Hour. Grand Rising, King Sean. Yes, it's the same link as last time. If you want to join us, we love to hear your perspective. Again, we are talking about the importance of sleep restoration and even a Sabbath day. So we're going to dive into that. But I'm not going to keep talking before we have this queen here bring us in like only she can. Queen.
Good morning, friends and family. Good morning, Peak Wellness Hour family. How are you doing? It is Saturday, and I'm so excited to be here. I feel alert, I feel alive, I feel so good, and I hope the same goes for you. Well, today we have a very interesting topic. I don't hear a lot of conversations about sleep. Okay, rest. There is rest for the weary, right? There is rest for the weary. And we're going to dive in. We want to, first of all, again, thank you for sharing Peak Wellness Hour page. Please keep sharing, keep inviting your friends. We reached the 150. That's only the starting point. And we appreciate everybody who chimed in to make sure we got there. Okay, but then now again, we want to go to 200. Let's add another 50, just 200. So share this video. We think we bring value to this platform. Share this video, invite a friend, and let us all get together and make this happen. 200, just 50 more. Everybody knows one person. We have 150 here. Everybody knows one person. If we all invited one person, we will easily get to 300. So we are counting on you. But thank you for being here. This is the Peak Wellness Hour, where total health, holistic health, is our top priority. So we're going to dive in and talk for about rest for the weary. Tune in. God bless you.
Love it, love it, love it. So yes, King Sean, you all will be gracing us with his presence here shortly. So excited about that. I want to talk for a second. Let's talk about this because we got to dive right in because we get to talking and there's so much to cover with every hour that we share with you all. And so we want to get it all in. I want to first share the importance of sleep. In a second, I'm going to share a Gaia video, and that link is in the description, along with our extended information on social media platforms and all that jazz. So let's talk about sleep really quick. Okay, sleep is not just rest because a lot of us sleep and we don't get rest, right? So
Mm.
you see, it's one of the most vital functions our body performs. During sleep, our brain and body repair, recharge, and repair us for a new day. How many of us are getting up in the morning? You've slept for, 5, 8, 10, 12 hours, and you just feel like you've been up all night. You feel like there's no rest. We're going to talk about the processes of that, the cycles of sleep, why it is so important to have a routine for sleep. I know Queen Edith has talked plenty of times about the importance of having a morning routine. She shared her morning routine and it's inspired me. I don't know about you all, but what about a sleep schedule? What about routine preparation for that rest period, not just sleep? So, in a few aspects, when we're looking at the importance of sleep, number one, for physical health, it helps the body heal and grow. It strengthens the immune system and balances hormones. If you all missed a conversation that we've had on hormones and regulating those appropriately, you want to go back and watch that video. Poor sleep increases risks of obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. Why is
Mm.
we're not
Wow.
going to get deep into it, but if you understand that your body does not have time to regulate and rejuvenize and revive, and kind of restart really, then that's where we're eating late. That's where the obesity comes in, the heart disease, the diabetes, all those things. So that's very important for our physical health. When it comes to mental health, quality sleep supports focus, memory, and learning. Hopefully, we'll have time to dive into the aspects of dreaming here today. We'll see. It helps regulate mood and manage stress. We talked about that as well within the past couple of months. Chronic sleep deprivation can lead to anxiety and depression. So, again, if you're wondering why you've slept since 7 p to 7 a and you feel anxious, irritated, annoyed when you wake up, it's because you've been tossing and turning all night. You've not been in that sleep cycle appropriately. And then performance and safety, being well rested improves alertness, reaction
Mm.
time, and decision making.
Wow.
Lack of sleep can cause mistakes, accidents, and reduce productivity. Have you ever went to, somewhere you're spending your money somewhere and you're looking at these people and they're so nasty, they're so negative, they have this attitude, and you're coming for morning coffee, at McDonald's or whatever, and you're wondering how is it 8 a.m. and you are in the worst mood ever? That may have something to do with sleep. And along with that, things that we bring into our sleep, things that we don't settle before we go to rest. It's an ongoing process. And it's a downward slope if we're not taking care of ourselves when it comes to appropriate rest. It is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Prioritizing consistent, high quality rest, not sleep, helps us think clearly, feel better, and live healthier lives. So I'm going to stop there for a second, Queen.
Wow. Wow. What a wealth of information. Sleep is not a luxury. Number one, what I'm hearing. Two, It is important for the body to reset itself, right? So if you are not having, and then going to sleep for 12 hours a day, 10 hours a day, does not necessarily mean we are getting the rest that we need. And I
Mm-hmm.
also heard you say, what are we bringing into our sleep? I heard you say we have to
Mm-hmm.
have a structure. We have to have a structure for our days, even make time for sleep. So sometimes in this day and age, so many of us, yesterday I came home from work and I was exhausted. About
Mm-hmm.
6 o'clock, I decided to lie down, right? And guess what I did? I turned on my TV and I started watching all these things that started stimulating me. So I couldn't get sleep. And my sister called me somewhere in the middle. I said, I'm trying to get some sleep, but she says, but I can hear the TV in the background. Why don't you turn off the TV, close your eyes, and you can probably get a good nap? And that's what I
Mm-hmm.
did. And
Mm-hmm.
I actually slept. And it was an hour, but it was restful. Oh, someone says playing chess can help improve all of this and more. Well, okay. I'll let you, the chess player, talk about it. I'll let you come and talk about it one of these days, Kinabi. Thank you for that, though. It's good to see you. Yes, so definitely you've raised some very important points, and I would like us to delve into it. How does sleep restore us? Is a question I like to explore more. So we don't take sleep for granted like a waste of time. People think, oh, I'm being so lazy. I've been sleeping. Well, are you being lazy or you're being wise? Is your body telling you you need it? I like to delve more into it. I like to hear more. So I'll hand over to Ken. Good to see you and welcome.
Happy Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, definitely. This is a very interesting topic too on sleep and restoration because I know too, in this day and age, especially with social media, you may be watching content or hearing content such as that, sleep is pretty much the enemy, right? And more so of just, it's all about pushing through. When you're tired, push through because you want to be productive and hyper focused. And for some individuals, it definitely works. It definitely works, if they're wired that way, if they program themselves that way. But for most people that I've come in contact with, that's not sustainable, so to speak, and it's not ideal as well. So I believe this is a great topic because with so much which is going on, and Professor Edith, you touched on it. I think it's more so many message units that's hitting us throughout the course of a day. It's known that over 144,000 message units come to us during the course of the day. So yeah, that restlessness, right? That anxiety or that insomnia would come into play. I was even a victim of insomnia as well some years ago. So, what can we do here on the Peak Wellness Hour to talk about the importance of sleep and restoration? And I have as far as some things that I actually researched on, but I want to bring to it more so from a hypnotherapist practitioner point of view. And so this is going to be a great topic of discussion. So I'm gonna pass it back over to Queen G and let's get this show rolling.
You said something really important where, for some people it does work. Not having as many hours of sleep. They say, let me see, I think it was for adults, it's what, 7 to 9 hours. Let me see. It's 7 to 9 hours a night. Teens are 8 to 10, and children are 9 to 12 hours of sleep. But then I've heard, um, I don't want to call them rich, wealthy, financially well-to-do individuals, and some of them say, they don't got time for sleep. You get up with the stock market, you're up for that. I think that's going along with just again having a routine, because a lot of times we wrestle with sleep because we're so fatigued, we're so overwhelmed, and you're fighting to get to that point of rest. And we're bringing things in our day into our rest time, where our unconscious parts of the brain to play. A lot of times when we're up moving around, we don't take time to pay attention to our bodies, and that's where we're getting stressed out. We're getting the headaches, we're getting the muscle aches, all those things. And so the body internally does not have time to reset and restore while we're causing a ruckus within ourselves. So I think the your ambition and your drive makes a difference for that, but there's still a process when it comes. If you only sleep 3-4 hours, 5 hours a night, there's a process for that. And even with that, you might work hard, play hard, but when you play hard, you also rest well when you're able to work hard and then play hard. A lot of us work hard and we just dibble dabble. We don't get to play. It's always business as usual. So I think just changing that mindset and tapping into those things are so important. I'm going to try to stop saying, I'm going to read the cycles of sleep, and I'm going to turn it over so we can dive into this. So with the sleep cycles, so here it is. Sleep is not a single continuous state of rest, but a dynamic process that occurs in repeating cycles throughout the night. Each cycle plays a unique role in restoring the body and mind. So understanding these processes are important. So a full sleep cycle typically lasts about 90 to 120 minutes. Okay. So 90 to hour and a half to 2 hours is one sleep cycle. And there are 4 of them. And if you sleep properly, it repeats 4 to 6 times a night. Each cycle includes 2 types of sleep: the non-rapid eye movement, NREM, which consists of 3 stages that process from light to deep sleep. And then REM, or rapid eye movement sleep, is a stage associated with dreaming and brain activity. Okay. A lot of us don't get to that REM, that final state, because we're wrestling with sleep. How many of you can say that you consistently dream on a regular basis? Maybe not every night, because you don't always remember those things, but a lot of people don't remember the last time they've dreamed. It may indicate that you're not even getting through the full cycles of sleep. So the stage 1 of the NREM, non-rapid eye movement, is light sleep. That's where there's a transition between wakefulness and sleep. So you're kind of in between, where you can hear a noise or something, and you can be easily woken. Muscles relax, heart rate and breathing slow down. So now you're calm, you're cool. Okay. It's easy to wake during this stage, and it only lasts a few minutes. Now with the second stage is the onset of true sleep. The body temperature drops, breathing and heart rate are stabilized now. Brain waves slow with brief bursts of activity. This accounts for about 50% of the total sleep time that you experience. The third stage is deep sleep, or slow wave sleep. This is the most restorative stage for the body. This is where tissues repair, muscle growth happens, and the immune system is strengthening. It's the hardest stage to wake up from. Waking here often causes grogginess. So if you're woken up in this state, and you can't get to REM, this is where you become groggy because it's interrupted. That last stage, which is REM sleep, occurs about 90 minutes after falling asleep and lengthens with each cycle. Brain activity increases and dreams become vivid. Eye moves rapidly beneath the eyelids, breathing and heart rate rise slightly because now there's brain activity. So you're kind of in the game, especially if you understand that you're dreaming and you're active in those dreams. REM sleep supports memory consolidation. Remember, we talked about compartmentalizing things, memory consolidation, learning, and emotional regulation. So there we go. So each stage contributes to physical recovery, brain function, and emotional health. Disrupted sleep cycles from stress, poor habits, or sleep disorders prevent the body from completing restorative processes. So that's why the consistent sleep schedule has to be maintained. You just don't, you can't just fall asleep. You just can't get in the bed and you just pass out at whatever time. If you have a set thing, if you know you go to bed at 8, 9, 10 o'clock, okay, well, this is my time I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to turn off the TV at this time. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to pray at this time. I'm going to do some light stretching. Going to stop eating at this time. All these different things are going into play when you're preparing for that rest period. So I will land my plane there.
My wheels are turning.
I know.
This is so much great information. And one of the things that I just couldn't walk away from, I was just zeroed in on, is the preparation.
Mm-hmm.
It's the preparation for. I've come to learn that everything in life is a process.
Mm-hmm.
When you go back to the book, the body keeps the score. It talks about us training our bodies through the nervous center, nervous system in our brain. So I will bring in addiction. An addict, let's just say they inject themselves with something. They prepare. They get the substance, some of them put it in a spoon, put it over fire, put them in the syringe. It's a process. It's not so much the substance, but the process you go through prepares the body to receive whatever you have trained it or whatever it is you're getting ready to give it. So that if you take an addict from one environment to another, and because he's not in their familiar environment, they can shock their bodies. And sometimes that's one of the reasons people can get hurt, because their bodies receive the shock. Mm-hmm. Like you said, we can't just come home and go in bed and just lay down. We have to have a structure. How do you prepare your body to get into the state? How have you trained this body, this mind, that we are getting ready to rest? Mm-hmm. Number one. Number two, your bed. Some of us, we make our beds in the morning, so we have to turn the bed down, right? Prepare our pillows, take off the decorative pillows. All those things. Many of you take the laundry, you dump it on your bed. We dump our presses on them. We dump so much on our bed. My bed, next to my bed is my computer. The phone is there. I go and sit in bed and I'm doing work. No, that's not a healthy bedtime habit. So once we are able to properly structure, and life is so much of discipline, properly structure our sleep time, and keep your bed is really your altar. Your body lays down and takes its rest. Depending on how well you've prepared your body, you can go through these cycles and have deep dreams. So people think dreams are just, so it's nothing. Dreams are messages. Okay, when you read the Bible, Joseph, we all know, whether you're a Christian, so many people know the story of Joseph, even if they don't go to church. Joseph's life, he dreamt it. It was a message. When you look at Daniel, the dreams, Ezekiel, like dreams and visions, they come when you are at the deepest part of your sleep. You get revelation, you get information. Dreams are not nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need more, there are dreams that are very prophetic for your life and for your future.
Mm-hmm.
Your body rests, but your spirit alerts.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes places and does things you have no idea about.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, scientifically, your body is getting itself rejuvenated. That's when you heal your mind. You heal the body. That's when you get energy. You are restored.
Mm-hmm.
You see, there's a scripture in the Bible, and I don't want to go to it's Psalm 127, verse 2. It says, "For God grants sleep to those he loves." It is in sleep that the female was created. I don't want to get into the Bible. But sleep is important, but we take it for granted. The clothes we wear to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
all the preparation tells your body we are resting.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to rest. Personally, I don't require a lot of sleep. 4 hours. If I do it right, a good 4 to 5 or maximum 6 hours of sleep. Because I go to bed, I try lately, I'm going to bed around 11. By 3:30, I'm up.
Mm-hmm.
And I can go all day. Sometimes when I come home from work, I'll sit down, relax, and maybe take a short nap so I can rejuvenate for the rest of the evening. It's not about the quantity,
Mm-hmm.
it's the quality. And I know that there's so much going on in King's head, so I let him take over.
I'm glad you mentioned that too. By the way, that was some great points in which that you mentioned. But I'm definitely glad that you mentioned that too, because again, like I prefaced before, there are individuals that may not need 8 hours of sleep. Right? I have partners that I work with, which they can literally like 4 or 5 hours and then wake up and boom, they're at it again. So it's not necessarily the quality, but I like how you frame that. Not the quantity, but it's the quality of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized, as far as for in my life, based upon the data and the research of my own personal life, I have to get like at least, I would say, 6, 7 hours of sleep. I'm good to go. Anything more than 8 hours, I'm like, it does a reverse effect for me. It's like I'm
Mm,
groggy. I'm like, really, I feel sluggish. Like, as far as like I'm getting the day late, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
don't like that feeling. So case in point, as far as with yesterday, because I done suffered a sinus cold, so I'm just getting over that. So my body is still kind of like, ugh, but you know what? I'm getting through it. But
Mm-hmm.
I love this topic too, and I really wanted to come at it from a hypnotherapist practitioner point of view, because all the points that you ladies mentioned is right on point. It's right in line on what I wanted to share. So I just wanted to come at it from a different perspective. So I had a chance to do some research on this, and I just want to go through these points, not take too much long, because some of it is going to be more so of what you already stated, but then it may be some that's like, aha moments. So here we go. In terms of the subconscious and the sleep, in which obviously when we're all sleeping, we're in subconscious mode, right? We are out of there, right? That's why some people, when they really be in a good sleep, they be snoring and be waking up the hills. It's all good. But in terms of the subconscious and the sleep, since that sleep is is the body's natural form of hypnosis, each night we cycle through the trance-like states, and which that you mentioned, Queen G, with the 4 stages of sleep. That's
Mm-hmm.
why that was so powerful. And just like in hypnotherapy, the subconscious is most active during deep sleep, where healing and memory consolidation occurs. You mentioned that earlier. In terms of the restoration, is much more than rest, because true true restoration happens in the deeper stages of sleep, just like you mentioned with the four stages. So it's with the slow wave and also with the rapid eye movement, which is REM, just lying in bed. At this time, as you mentioned, then that's when our body it repairs as far as for tissues, for an example. It balances out the hormones, strengthens the immune system. That's why getting a good quality of rest is very, very important. And Josephine said, very true, sleep is medicinal. Agreed, 1,000%. It also, too, it declutters and processes emotions, reduces stress and anxiety. I can definitely attest to that because the type of work that I do during the daytime and then at nighttime, I had to transition as being an entrepreneur because I do so much in the daytime from a physical and more mental aspect because I'm a maintenance technician. And then as I'm an entrepreneur, I'm working on different projects. I'm in the midst of right now in a master class where it's more mental and we had to do some physical work, so to speak. So getting that good quality of rest, it gives me the opportunity for my mind to go ahead and process the day, as you mentioned, declutter, get all that stuff out, and then to be able to get downloads from what you mentioned, Professor, from the Creator, right, from God, right? New revelations, new insights, maybe certain ways as far as on how to really do certain things better. And so all those things is very important in terms of the sleep and restoration. Now, something very interesting here from a hypnotherapist practitioner standpoint, I've been dealing with a lot of people recently coming up in terms of why they can't sleep, why they having a hard time of going to sleep. And this may be the obvious, right? Some people not. But insomnia, it actually stems from your subconscious mind working in overload. What do I mean by that? The message units, as I talked about earlier, since we have over 144,000 thoughts throughout the course of the day, so during that time of us trying to unwind and sleep, our minds are still going. It's still going. And sometimes when it comes to insomnia, we have so much going on that our mind and body is not in sync. So the mind is still going. The body's like, hey, I'm tired, man. Trying to calm it down, but it seems like subconsciously our mind is still racing, almost like in go, 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 go mode. Thus, it's like you mentioned, when people do wake up, they're super groggy and more tired than usual because they haven't gotten the proper rest, and thus the four stages of sleep, they missed a stage or two. And so it comes out that way. Another thing too, just like I mentioned, with the conscious mind, consciously you want to get some sleep. You know you gotta get some sleep because you may have a big day tomorrow, big project, maybe meeting with a client where you're gonna need your full attention and focus. But subconsciously, it's like, nah, I ain't ready to go to sleep yet. I still got some stuff I'm trying to process, and with that, why? And this is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, why I love hypnosis and hypnotherapy, why like I'll scream this out to the hills. Because what I do for individuals, especially with hypnosis, it actually teaches the brain to release that type of tension and really shift into different states much more faster. With hypnosis, way I do it is that my job is to bring a person to the highest state of anxiety. Thus, the whole purpose of once you be in that high arousal state, being so high, now that's when I'm able to come in and we work together to bring you into what is known as a relaxed state, almost like REM. The difference is that you are alert and consciously fully aware, but what it does for the body, it's working with the mind and body all in one in sync to get into that relaxed state. I love doing certain things such as guided imagery, right? And if you want to know more about that, you can message me about that. But certain exercises is all in turn to get you to that nice, relaxed state to almost in which we talk about deep sleep. And when you're in deep sleep, as Queen G mentioned, then that's when subconsciously you're able to release, relax, unwind. And from there, that's when the ideas flow. That's when suggestions or commands in which you want to be impressed upon and suggest upon comes in so much more easier because now the conscious and the subconscious mind is not battling each other. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's a nice, safe way for you to be in that state. And that's one of the reasons why that definitely works. But in addition, as well, I came up with a few other things too. So by you doing that, using hypnosis, right? I even teach individuals as far as with self hypnosis. That's one of the things that's very powerful. Over the course of time, you're actually reprogramming your subconscious. Thus, I'm gonna use a word that Professor Edith actually loved. You're creating neural pathways, right? So now you're training your brain to associate bedtime with calm, safety, renewal, relaxation, whatever you want to associate it with. Because the key is whatever you choose to associate it with, then when you're creating that sleep regimen, your body is looking forward to that. It's like, yay, yay, sleep time. And you will be surprised when you do that on how well your body treats you, especially in the morning, because that's very important. And just like what Professor Edith said, she's able to get about 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and now she's ready just to go. Why? Because she already had that system in place, and she prepared her mind, body, and spirit for that. And it just comes over time. So much more in which I can talk about on this, but I know we only have a 1 hour show, so I'm gonna pass it back over to you, Queen G.
I hate that we only have an hour. So, oh my gosh, you brought up so many good points. I wanted to dive into the dream aspect really quickly, and the importance of that. So it says dreaming is a universal human experience that occurs primarily during the REM stage. While often mysterious, dreams serve important psychological and neurological functions that contribute to mental health, creativity, and memory. So, with cognitive and emotional processing, dreams play a crucial role in processing emotional emotions and experiences from daily life. They help the brain organize and integrate complex feelings, reducing emotional stress. Studies suggest that dreaming assists with coping with trauma and maintaining emotional balance. Also helps for memory consolidation, where the brain is strengthened and recognizes memories. Dreaming aids in linking new information to existing knowledge, enhancing learning and problem solving abilities. The process helps transform short term memories to long term understanding, which this is my own take on that, which may be beneficial when we're looking at dementia. Dementia and Alzheimer's is a huge thing now. And I think it's so prominent that some of us may think that that dementia is a part of aging, and it is not. And it's all about those short term memories being gone. So, just a side note there. Helps with creativity and problem solving. Many innovative ideas and artistic works have been inspired by dream experiences. Really quickly, you all, I want to ask you: Have you all know who Philip K. Dick is?
Philip who?
Philip K. Dick.
No.
He was around. He died in 1982. He was born in 1928. He was a writer, okay, and he wrote books that were actually turned into the following movies: Blade Runner, Total Recall, Screamers, 12 Monkeys, The Matrix, let's see, Vanilla Sky. I'm looking at The Truman Show. If you have not seen The Truman Show, that is something to watch. Have you all seen The Truman Show?
I've seen it. Yeah.
That's some real life stuff. The Matrix is too. But the thing with him, he wrote books based off of dreams and visions. And there was one I was looking up as you all were talking. I can't remember which one it was, but there was one that was inspired because he would have recurring dreams about this woman, and it popped up, and he wrote a book about it. I can't remember which one it was. I'm so sorry. But the point is, he died in 1982. So all these movies that are coming out, they hold some truth. The Matrix holds some truth. A lot of these movies we're looking at, AI now, these were dreams and visions that he had. And we see how they're coming into fruition based off of his mindset. So it is so important when we're looking at dreams, when we're tapping into those things, it's very important to make sure that you are keeping a journal of your dreams. A lot of times we can have the craziest dreams and they don't make any sense. My husband, my king, flipped out. Every once in a while, he seems to be slightly still traumatized by this dream. We were living somewhere and there was the green giant. I know the green giant on the vegetables. It was like a 50-foot tall green giant, like the SWAT team, the helicopters, everybody was looking for this green giant. Couldn't find this 50-foot tall thing. My husband goes outside in his dream and he sees this giant laying in a ditch. And he's like, how do y'all not see this green giant lying in this ditch? It was so weird, but it boggled him for a long time. I think some of our dreams are just silly dreams, but sometimes they tie into things. Is that giant tied in with the way you eat, not eating? I'm just speculating, not eating healthy, not eating enough vegetables. Now this giant in your life is weight or obesity or heart disease, whatever that may be. I don't think we give a lot of our subconscious experiences a lot of thought. I know when I was younger, I don't know if you all are familiar with lucid dreaming. Are you all familiar with that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so with lucid dreaming, when I was younger, I didn't know what that meant. So you all listening, lucid dreaming is where it occurs when you become aware that you are dreaming and can sometimes influence the dreams. Common techniques include reality checks, dream journals, and mindfulness training. So when I was younger, I learned there was some dream I had, I can't remember, but I woke up from it and it was so deep. I wanted to get back there and see how it was going to play out. I was aware that I was dreaming. When I woke up, I was aware in my dream that it was a dream. But in the middle of waking up in that in-between sleep, I wanted to get back there. And I started focusing on what I recalled and where I left off and where I wanted to go, what I wanted to see in that dream. And for a long time, I was able to do that. I was aware of it. I don't do it anymore. I thought it was a fascinating thing to be able to do. I don't do it anymore because I don't take the time. I don't have those sleeping habits, those rest habits. But if we were to tap in to what's going on, this day happened, it was a crappy day, work this and this person that, what are you looking for in your sleep? Do you want to fall asleep thinking about this nonsense that happened with your coworker? Or do you want to dive deeper into how can I change my day tomorrow? How can I feel different? Let me rest and let me find the place of peace. Where is my place of peace? My place of rest? Is it in the garden? I love waterfalls. Is it in by a waterfall? Where is your place of peace to where you can go and be a part of that subconscious experience to tap in to serenity, to tap into a higher level, to say this happened today, but where can I be? We're in this rest. I wake up a better person, a refreshed person, a found person, a grounded person. That is an amazing opportunity because, with the supernatural and other things going on, God, whatever, how you want to do it, there's a connection there. They say that babies, and I'm going to finish this, they say that babies and people that are transitioning from life to death sleep longer. They say babies sleep longer because they're transitioning from that place before as a spirit to this earthly being having this experience. And you're slowly drifting away from that connection before you got into this flesh. Once you're passing away, things have visions, talking to people, you're dreaming a lot, you're sleeping a lot. You're preparing for that transition into a different spiritual place. That's why they sleep a lot. So what are you taking advantage of being able to kind of control and be a part of that experience? And I will land there. Go ahead.
Got a question for you, and that's awesome. I'm thinking more so there's someone that's either on this live or going to watch this in the near future, and they may be saying because they're an entrepreneur, they got so many different things on their plate. So, based upon what you just stated, how does it benefit them as being an entrepreneur? Or someone that may have a deep personality and it's like, listen, I have to be on the go. I have to be fully focused. I got a lot of projects. I got a lot of things going on. So how would this help someone that's more so of a D type of personality?
May I come in?
Yes.
Please.
May I respond?
Please.
It's very interesting because we deprive ourselves of the opportunity to be effectively creative.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Because one of the things that is coming out of everything we are talking about, when you get to that level of rest and restoration, you kick in your creative abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've come to learn that let me ask a question. When you are tired, when you're so exhausted, how effective are you?
Mm-hmm.
Really,
Not very.
how
Not
Not
effective
very.
are
very
you?
effective at all.
Yeah, you are cranky, you are not even listening well, you easily get agitated,
Right.
all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So many times we keep going and going and going and going and going because it's a coping skill.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
There's something we don't want to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So in our going, we are numbing ourselves
Mm-hmm.
so we don't have to stop and think.
Mm-hmm.
There is work to be done. But how effective are you gonna be if you fall down sick? If you don't treat this body well, this body needs to be taken care of. You
Mm-hmm.
can't go, 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 go. If you don't take the rest, nature will bring you down. So this is what I'll say to such a person. Have structure. You have a lot to do. You can't accomplish everything in a day. So have structure, have a plan. What can we realistically do today, achieve it, and be fulfilled?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes we find out that we're doing this, we did it today, we did it yesterday, we continue doing the same thing, not
Mm-hmm.
having real result, no real effectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so have a plan. What can I realistically do today? Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, who in my team has the ability or the capacity to handle this? Delegate. Learn to delegate and leave them to do the work. Don't
Mm-hmm.
delegate and micromanage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so at least these two things will go a long way. Have a plan, work the plan, delegate, know what you can do effectively today that will make a difference that you can build on tomorrow. Have the project, have an activity plan for the project. This project, we need it by the next 6 months. Okay, in the next, I'll start working on it 2 months from now whilst I finish this, so that we have structure. When we tackle something, we finish it. A lot of us are running. There was a time, I'm still in school, right? I'm doing internship, right? I started Peak Home Agency, right? I have a church, right? Four things. It got to a point I realized that no, this is killing me. And guess what? I was busy. There was so much busyness and
Mm-hmm.
activity without results.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, where is the fruit?
Mm-hmm.
I was tired, I was restless, and I was broke.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay, but now that I've learned to delegate, I'm learning to put structure. I'm making time to rest. Do I have money? I don't have all the money, but now I'm learning consistency. That I know where to put my time, put my plan. So I'm being effective. So when the money begins to flow, have somebody to manage your finances. We do too much. We do one man business. One man business. There's a book called The Entrepreneur's DNA.
Yes. I want to read that.
I've forgotten the author, The Entrepreneur's DNA. I have it in the office.
Okay.
When I go there on Monday, I take a picture and share it. But
Okay.
we have to have a mentor. People who, a lot of people who are successful are not working 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
They have a
Hmm.
team. Who is on
Correct.
your team? So I think that we say we are busy, but it's really we lack structure. We
Hmm.
lack a proper plan. We lack structure. We lack help. We lack help, or we are not taking advantage of the help we have. Because if we allow them to do what they can do, they can also grow. We all growing with the business and we all getting better. But it got to a point where I was doing everything myself. I was
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
working in the field. I was going to see the new clients. I was doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
No, at some point, maybe in the beginning, yes. But
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
eventually, being busy doesn't make you so
Successful.
Or effective.
Hmm. And you know
absolutely
what?
not.
I'll say this too, Sean, the King Sean, to that. Especially a lot of people, as far as entrepreneurs, and that's the thing. We don't think, first of all, that we can be entrepreneurs or self-made. You know, we think that we have to have this brick and mortar. We have to have all these people. We have to have all these things. But a lot of times, just starting something. If you like to knit, you know, you got all these darn, you know, blankets up in the attic, you know, or in the basement. Like, why are they sitting there? Because you love to knit. Like, you better get out there and sell some stuff. If you like to write ebooks, then why are you the only one that read them? You know, so
Hmm.
I think with that, to your question, I think that the sleep part is important. The, like Queen Edith said, the preparation is important. The meditation and prayer or whatnot is important, because if you're meditating on this thing, and that's why for me meditation is so important, because if you understand how to do it correctly, you are taking 5-10 minutes in the middle of your day, instead of eating McDonald's, you're in the car, wherever, you know, taking that time to dive in, take some breaths, and transition into a peaceful place, a grounded place, just to take a moment to
Hmm.
recenter. You know, so if you're doing that on a regular basis, and then you're going to bed doing that, now you're getting that revelation for that entrepreneurship. You go to bed and you're like, you know, yeah, I do have all these supplies up here that I bought from Joann's Fabrics or Michael's Fabrics. I don't know why I got them. Do something with. Now you have all these ideas, all these visions,
Absolutely.
but you have to be intentional with it, and you have to want it. So I think we are all capable of um, multiple options in life as entrepreneurs, as whoever we want to be. We limit ourselves because we limit not just the dream and the sleep, but the vision as we go along through the day. And you have to have that vision. If you're working for somebody right now and you don't want to keep working for somebody, then what does that look like for you? You know, it doesn't look like you working for yourself. What are you doing? How is it
Hmm.
sustainable? What does it look like for your future? That's where dreaming and that rest and restoration comes in. At what is the long-term goal here? What is your life looking like? You know, and if you're going to bed in chaos, that's what your life looks like. You know, you're
Absolutely.
sitting there. I used to have dreams. I used to talk in my sleep, and my husband would wake me up. He was like, you know, who's Barbara? Who's a patient? A patient. I'm just having full conversations with demented patients. Why you keep who you telling to stop, sit down, be good there? Oh, I'm still at work in my brain. You know,
Wow.
and that's what we do. And I was talking out loud, waking my husband up. You know,
Wow.
God forbid I called out a John or somebody, you know. So, you know, like who you talking to? But that's the issues of our heart. And it doesn't address those things. I'll say this, I'm going through a situation right now. Um, and someone close to me has moved away. And I'm just gonna say my son has moved out of state, my oldest son, my firstborn. It's been very difficult. I have had a lot of nights. I'm
Nurse.
talking about right now. just brokenhearted. I miss my son. And there's been a disconnect right now because he's finding himself. And the other night, I just cried and cried. I woke my husband up. I was trying to get it together. And that next night, I had to have some peace about it. And I went to sleep. And it was so serene because I was outside doing something. And it was crazy because I had to, in this dream, I was getting ready for work. I love being outside, you all, even before I go to work. And so I was outside getting ready to do, I was in the backyard. And in the dream, my son comes behind
Yeah,
me.
Queen.
Oh, it's okay. My son comes behind me. Thank you, Queen. I turned around and I hugged him, and in the dream, I remembered that I was waiting to hear from my son, to see my son. And I turned around and he just hugs me, and it was so real. And it gave me so much peace. It really gave me so much peace. And it put me at ease a bit. But what I saw from that dream, I remember telling him, I said, well, how long are you here? And he was like, I'm just here for a moment. Had to do. I come in. He was getting spices. That's what he said. He said I came to get some spices because where I'm living, they don't have the spices I need. I'm like, you drove from Kansas to Indianapolis to get spices, and it was weird. And my response was, hey, are you gonna be here for a while? Because I have to go to work. I don't want to leave you. I have to go to work. I don't want to leave, but I have to go to work. Let me tell you the revelation with that dream. This has been hard for me because I've spent a lot of time working, providing for my family and providing for other people. And it has cost me something. That was the revelation in that dream. So we have to pay attention to these things and just be mindful of it. And it gave me peace. But sometimes it's what's needed, diving into things and understanding things that are difficult that we don't want to come to terms with in reality. In our awakened stages, that's where you find that. I get my grandmother passed some time ago, and that was my heart, that was my life. And my mom, my sister, they've had dreams about my grandparents. I'm like, why don't they come to me in my dreams? Maybe because I'm not ready for it. Maybe because I need to be in a different place. And so we have to think about that. We have to set ourselves up for moving forward, and we have to be able to tap into those things. Because it's necessary. And I think in the dreaming, in the rest, you do peace beyond understanding. And it's always beyond our understanding. So don't take that rest for granted. I'm sorry, y'all. It's hard to talk about my son. I'll be trying to put my makeup on before and so I'll be crying. If you never have a child about, I'm going to this empty nest stage. I have one more son at home. He's 20. Keep him home. And they have to go. But it's a process. And I think with that rest, I needed the rest because I was being busy, not wanting to think about it. And it costs. It costs not resting, not tending to yourself and finding that peace. It's going to cost you. So spend time in that solitude, spend time in that restoration stage. That's all I'll say. I always said, people, if you're under 3 and over 30, everybody needs a nap a day. That's all. 3 and over 30, I need a nap. So take that time to restore. It's so important. Thank you for letting me share that. That was hard. I'm sorry. I'll be trying to talk about things. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing and being vulnerable, Queen. Some things are not easy to talk about, but they help. So thank you for putting yourself in that space. Um, there's so much to talk about this sleep thing because I'm going through my notes. In psychotherapy, sleep is both a symptom and a solution. But we can go into all this, and I know that, King, you have a lot. So I move, I move that we continue this conversation next week.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree.
I agree. Yes. If you all look, really quickly, I'm gonna let King say what he wants to say before we go out, and I'll let Queen in us out. But if you look in the description, I will put it on Facebook and I'll put it in the community page on the Peak Wellness Hour YouTube page. For it's like a 6-minute video talking about the importance of sleep and deprivation and all that stuff as far as scientific. So check that out. It's in the, like I said, it's in the link. And then also really quickly, I would suggest, and here's a QR code for it. I suggest using a sleep sound machine. I love those. You can
Mm.
get the QR code there, but I'll say this: when it comes to sleep, get your phone away from you. That blue light, even if it's your phone is on silent, when it starts lighting up and it's sitting by your pillow or whatever, that is very distracting. It's mentally, it's psychologically detrimental. Sleeping with your TV on. I know we do the background noise with the rain and the thunderstorm, and it's the black screen, but it's still, you can still see the light. On my TV, I can turn off the whole screen and you can still hear the background. But get rid of that lighting. Very detrimental to your well-being. So find you a sound machine. Here's one on Amazon. I think it's like $19. You can get it overnight. I have one. I love it. I never thought I would like train sounds, but there is something about some train sounds that I do enjoy.
Yes.
It's weird. Um,
Yes.
yeah, they have the birds and the soft music.
Mhm.
So check that out. Use that QR code if you want to look into that. You all can scan that. Um, I'll put that in the link too for you all to look at. So if you don't want that one, there's other ones. This one has like 30 different sounds. I thought that was cool. They have a nightlight thing. In mine, I turn my light off. Like, even though they have different color lights, I just turn my light off because it's still blue light. So just think about that. Stop sleeping with your TV on, especially if you go to sleep with garbage. Stop sleeping with your TV on because you let that stuff get into your spirit. I had a patient the other day that told me he fell asleep and he woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning to South Park. I don't think South Park should ever be on TV, not ever. But it was talking about, it was all kinds of sexual innuendo. It was just disgusting.
Mm.
But that's what you wake up with your spirit. I think I told you all before, these darn pharmaceutical commercials. I woke up singing that darn what's the weight loss injection thing? Wegovia. I'm sitting here skipping and carrying on to the bathroom. And I'm like humming. I'm like, what is that song? This is a diabetic medication song. No, ma'am, no, sir. So just be careful what you put in your spirit. Even those commercials, you listen to something positive and you pop a commercial in with the Real Housewives or something ratchet. You don't need that in your spirit. So go ahead and turn
Absolutely.
that TV off, meditate yourself to sleep, pray yourself to sleep, rock yourself to sleep, really, and just find some peace. So, yeah, that's all I got. King, did you have anything before Queen Edith takes us out and I fix my face?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and this is something too, by the way, what we're speaking about. Um, I understand that we're at a point in time in the world where people wanted results like 2 weeks ago, but when it comes down to sleep, since it's all about your health and mental health, it doesn't happen overnight. So give yourself grace. But I think the main thing is just having that routine and setting up a system because just like in the Matrix and like the Truman Show, it basically shows you on how everything works by systems, right? And by programs. So if you can set up a system and a program for yourself, then you can have it to where it becomes automatic, to where something that you do day in and day out, night in and night out without fail. And again, I think that's one of the things that I'm going to talk about next week. We're going to go a little bit more deeper from a hypnosis practical standpoint. But this is all very powerful, and even some stuff too that I even learned on this. And this is what the peak wellness hour is all about. It's not all about when you come on here or when you're listening, like, oh yeah, I know this, yeah, I know that. It's not about that because the minute you get to that point that oh, you know this, you know that, then that's when your growth is stagnant. You can't learn. You're not allowing yourself to gain more knowledge. And I want you guys to even think about those that are even like high intellectuals and geniuses and polymaths and different things of that nature. They don't have that mentality of such as, oh, well, I know this. I don't need to stop growing and stop learning. That type of language is not even in their vocabulary, if that makes sense. So just something I want you to keep that in mind. And that's all I got for you. Professor, take it away.
What's the saying, real quick? What's the saying? A man who knows everything knows that he knows nothing at all. What's
That's
He
that?
who
correct.
knows not and knows not that he knows not, and does not learn is a fool. That's also what we used to
Correct.
say as
That
children.
is correct. That is
Mm-hmm.
correct. 1000%. 1000%.
Mm-hmm. Queen, take it away.
I'll say this in closing. First of all, I want to thank every one of you.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very important topic, and share it with the entrepreneurs, the businessmen, the businesswomen, the couples. Let me say this: we treat our cars better than this body, and our cars may not last us a lifetime. Some of us, we treat our homes. We have people coming into our homes. We are spending money to clean out our homes, but we won't do it for self. In this day and age with reels, there's a lot of talk about self, but we don't talk about the things that sustain self and make us better.
Mm-hmm.
We say things to ourselves that we won't say to other people. We are nicer to others, to our homes, to our cars, on our jobs, on our bosses, more than we are to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's what comes to mind when I think about sleep. Sleep is your opportunity to let your body rejuvenate itself, your internal organs be reset. Sleep literally is laying down and closing your eyes.
Hmm.
Sometimes sleep is also giving your body systems a break, because in that time of the night, you don't eat. So
Mm-hmm.
you're giving everything in your body system a rest. So it will serve you better, including your mental health. I don't know everything about dementia and its causes, but our inability to give ourselves the break we need so we can reset for the next day,
Mm-hmm.
because we are too busy. Busy for what? What is more important than you when you break down? If you are that busy, when you break down, or God forbid you fall down and die, that business, that whatever it is you're building goes down with you. So, yes, rest, sleep are not luxuries, they are necessities. They are our Creator's gift to us for an opportunity to reset, to reconnect with Him unconsciously. So, yes, practice sleep hygiene. Keep your bed sheets clean. Wash your pillowcases often. Have a nice aroma running.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let your have a beautiful set of night clothes. Be comfortable. Turn the lights off. Have that slow music if that's what you want. Whatever
Hmm.
it is, and lay back down. Make sure the temperature in your home is right. And lay back down and rest, because it's not a luxury. Your tomorrow, when you wake up, whatever you wake up to is important for you. What you're going to do tomorrow needs your full cognitive and bodily abilities. So, friends and family, we will come to you again talking deeper about this, because it is key to our successes and to our fruitfulness. Thank you for watching. Until we come your way next time, I'm so thankful that King Sean, Queen G, and of course, we're able to join. So next week, let's continue the conversation.
Yes.
Go to the page, keep writing. We will be responding. We want to continue the
Mm-hmm.
interaction. Let us think about what your sleep patterns are, what is helping you and what is not helping you. We want to continue the conversation on this page. So let's keep talking. We love you, appreciate you. And once again, remember that your wellness is key to your future. We love you. Have a great week. Bye.
Peace, love, and blessings.